Welcome into this special Wild Wasteland broadcast with your host, yours truly, Spy Dingo. For today's entertainment, we join the cult of Scientology. I mean the cult of Hubology. Scratch that. I mean we join the Hubologists for their most momentous day. Here in the ruins of San Francisco, the Hubologists are about to begin their journey into their Star Father's loving embrace, whatever the heck that means, by launching their rocket ship, the ESS Quetzel, off of the popular pre-war tourist destination, the Golden State Bridge. Alright folks, that's enough preamble. We have just received word from our reporters on the ground that the Hubologists have completed their pre-launch procedures and have begun their countdown to destiny. 3, 2, 1, blast off! Look at that, truly stunning, folks. The shuttle has begun to blast across the Golden State Bridge, rapidly building up speed. The Quetzel is now dangerously close to the end of the bridge. Will she manage to get off of the ground? Phew! With barely a rad roach of a hair to spare, the Quetzel has defied gravity and has begun her ascent towards the heavens. What a truly stunning sight. Who knows what adventures await those brave souls on their long journey. But most importantly, thank Adam, they are no longer on our planet. Am I right, folks? Oh, frack. Never mind. I guess their journey wasn't quite so long after all. Quite the fireworks show, though, folks. What a stunning way to go. I guess the brilliant decision to fill the Quetzel's fuel tanks with Sunset sarsaparilla didn't pay off after all. Made for one heck of a fiery explosion for us, though. Well, that's all, folks. Thanks for joining us for just another Tuesday in this wild, wacky wasteland we call home. Until next time, don't let the Yaogwai get ya. Hey y'all, it's been a while, hasn't it? I hope you've missed me. Today, I'd like to talk about the ESS Quetzel from Fallout 2, as you might have already guessed. The ESS Quetzel, also known affectionately as the Shuttle, thanks to its strong similarity to the space shuttles of our universe, was painstakingly developed by the Hubologists of San Francisco to make the journey from this planet, Earth, to the planet Quetzel. Oh, and for those of you who are like me and couldn't for the life of you figure out what the ESS stands for in ESS Quetzel, the internet, and by extension, myself, have you covered. ESS means Aileronologist, Space Ship, a pun on L. Ron Hubbard, the founder of this world's, ours, Scientology, a name that was derived before Black Isle Studios made the parody less blatant by calling the Fallout cult Hubologists instead of Aileronologists. Fun fact, this acronym sets the Quetzel apart from pretty much every other known in-universe spacecraft, as it is the only vehicle to feature such an acronym. The other craft feature names such as Zeus 12, Virgo 2, Delta IX, and so forth. In an additional fun fact, although the world Quetzel is a reference to a supposed planet in the Fallout universe, Quetzel could also be seen as a reference to the Aztec feathered serpent god of Quetzalcoatl. I definitely said that wrong, don't sue me. The god of life, light, and wisdom, lord of the day and the winds. Quetzalcoatl was also strongly associated with the planet Venus. So in my best History Channel impression, so could it be that Venus is the Quetzel the Hubologists seek to migrate to? I sure hope so, for their sake, if they have any hope at all of making it to their destination alive one of these days. Then again, I suppose Quetzel could also be a reference to the Quetzalcoatlus, also probably said that wrong, a genus of pterosaur, a candidate for the largest flying animal ever discovered, with a wingspan of around 11 meters or 36 feet. Who's to say? But if I had my vote, I like the Venus theory. Name aside, not much is known about this little shuttle that could. Other than, as previously mentioned, she was meticulously designed and built by the Hubologists over a period of many, many years with the goal of reaching their star father. When discovered by the player, the cult is in the final stages of preparation for their journey, needing 2 bits of aid from the Chosen One: vertibird plans and fuel. Where the fuel need makes sense, as we will discuss a little bit later, the vertibird plans thing is wild. Although, if we were to take Star Brother Harry, the chief rocket technician, at his word, these plans are integral to, quote, Ensure that we've got the aerodynamics right. I hope I'm not alone in thinking one shouldn't use an Osprey schematics to design a spaceplane. But maybe that's just me. Speaking of space planes, that's what the Quetzel supposedly is. More specifically, she is supposedly a space plane capable of being launched horizontally from the ground without boosters and achieving space flight. So a single-stage space plane. This is a highly unlikely achievement considering the vast majority, let's just say 90% of space planes, to throw out a number, are launched vertically using booster rockets, with the other 10% or so being launched from a mothership, which is a conventional fixed-wing aircraft at altitude. Perhaps the nuclear power in the Fallout equation makes it more plausible for the main thruster and 8 dorsal-mounted auxiliary thrusters to achieve the required amount of thrust to escape Earth's warm embrace. But I somehow deeply doubt it. That being said, my only qualifications for judging such things come from being roommates with an aerospace engineer in college some 8 odd years ago. So if anyone who is actually qualified wants to drop their 2 caps in the comments, be my guest. Anyways, let's talk about said nuclear power plant and how it might be used. NASA has actually already been using nuclear power for generating electricity for use on platforms such as the Mars Perseverance rover, so it's undeniable that nuclear power could and should be used at the very least for powering the Quetzel's electronic systems. It also appears to be quite possible that the Quetzel could be using nuclear-based propulsion systems as well. Such propulsion comes in 2 main flavors, at least according to Google's Gemini AI. Nuclear thermal propulsion, or NTP, and nuclear electric propulsion, or NEP. Nuclear thermal propulsion uses heat from fission to turn liquid propellants into gas, which then propels the spacecraft when directed out of a nozzle in a process that is apparently 5 times more efficient than our chemical rockets of today. Nuclear electric propulsion similarly uses heat from nuclear fission, but in this case it uses it to generate electricity, which is then used to propel a spacecraft by ionizing a propellant, such as xenon, which is then accelerated out of a thruster using an electromagnetic field. That's quite the mouthful. NEP engines are more fuel efficient than NTP engines, but produce significantly lower thrust. With this being the case, my caps are on the Quetzel being powered by nuclear thermal propulsion, as it's gonna need all the giddy-up buttercups it can possibly get to exit Earth's atmosphere under its own power alone. Sadly, that's pretty much all we can glean about this single-stage spaceplane when all we have is a single low-pixel view of her. But I do have a few remaining thoughts. I like the concept of a Fallout space shuttle and hope it gets explored further in future entries in the franchise, although I must insist that if they do, they remove those weird pipes that are running everywhere and give her a launch vehicle so that she may actually stand some small chance of functioning. But hey, even if they don't do that, she's still better than the Stingray Deluxe. And with that, I do believe I've said all I have to say about the ESS Quetzel, and thus I'd like to end this video with the animation representing the quote-unquote good ending for the shuttle in Fallout 2. I hope you enjoy. The scientists, having successfully obtained liquid propellant fuel and vertibird plans from the Chosen One, ensured the Quetzel was properly prepared for her maiden journey. The Quetzel roared down the Golden State Bridge and left its pavement far below as it ascended towards the heavens, a beacon of light in the darkness of the wastes below. Onward and upward the Quetzel soared, breaking free of gravity's mighty clutch, and reaching orbit up above this once verdant world. It was there, however, that the Quetzel's journey would end. The Starfather's faithful, Star brothers and sisters, did not account for the hazards of recycled air and perished silently of carbon monoxide poisoning, leaving the Quetzel a derelict ghost ship. It has been said that for several years following the ill-fated launch, she could be seen in the night sky, shining as if in mourning of her crew's passing. Until one evening, her orbit finally decayed and she returned to Terra's embrace, her memory becoming ash and disappearing in the wind. And that's a wrap, folks. Thank you all so much for sticking to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. If you'd like to see more content from me, please subscribe. It really helps me out. Even if you don't, thanks so much. See you in the next one. Spy Dingo out.